My name is Susan Crutchfield. I work here in the library, and welcome and helping us celebrate Native American Heritage Month, which is in November. Today we have a speaker named Deanna Osceola, and she will be talking about her tribe here, the Seminole Tribe of Florida, here in Florida. She'll be giving you some facts and information about the tribe and telling some stories about her and her family history. I want you to also take notice of surveys that are located in the chairs. We have pens over there if you need to complete one. I appreciate if you would fill one of these out after the event. Also, there's a sign-in sheet for anybody who needs to get credit for attending this event, and you can sign in over there. Without further ado, we're going to bring Deanna back up here and have her talk about her tribe, the Seminole Tribe of Florida.
Hi, everyone. First, I just want to preface, whatever I say, it's from my point of view. You know, I'm from the Seminole Tribe of Florida. My thoughts and concerns certainly can't speak for a Navajo or a Choctaw. You know, I didn't grow up in their traditions and medicine or any of that. And also, some of what I say, I don't think can sort of cover everyone in the Seminole Tribe of Florida, because clans vary, families vary, certain words my grandmother speaks, a different grandmother says differently. So I always just like to say, whatever I'm saying, you know, I'm not trying to stand up here and speak for everybody. But I do like events like this and conversations like this. You know, it is Native American Heritage Month, and we are such a small group of people that just to get any type of door open and discussion going is great. So for further understanding of our type of people. So thanks for being here today. I wanted to begin with the organization I work for, the Florida Governor's Council on Indian Affairs. And it is a private nonprofit corporation that was started by Governor Osceola. And we basically were there to help advise the governor and kind of bridge a gap between the Native American population and the tribe. And Florida is a very lucky state because the two tribes in it are very self-sustaining. They're, you know, yes, they still need help, but they kind of do it all on themselves. They haven't really knocked on the governor's door in a while. Aside from the compact, but we won't get into that. But and that's the other thing too. Florida Governor's Council, we don't get into the politics and picking sides. And but what I do like is you don't have to be a member of the two tribes in the state. If you're any Native American descent and you live in the state of Florida or Georgia, we can help you with our programs. But we don't help prove if you're Native American. You have to do that background work yourself and just show us the documentation. And from there, we look to, in any way we can help. So we have two big programs. We have the employment and training program. Preference is given to veterans. It is funded through the Department of Labor. And you can see right there, the goals are to increase employment, education skills, occupational skills, just really there to help, you know, Native Americans get better educations, better job. We help with classroom training assistance. We try to cover books, transportation, childcare if needed. Just basically there just to kind of help you get through those barriers and get an education and hopefully get better job placement for your future. The Florida Indian Youth Program was started as to try and catch the youth, and then they'll enroll into our employment and training program. So that we just celebrated our 35th year, and we held the classes on TCC's campus this year. So the kids are 14 to 17. Goals are to increase high school graduation and go on to achieve higher education. And we're trying to get them a college experience of what life's going to be like. So they actually live on Southgate at Florida State, stay in dorm type settings, go to classrooms in the morning. The older group, closer to going to college, they actually go and visit, you know, college departments. So they go to FAM, they went to College of Nursing, the film school, FSU Communications. So just trying to show them different departments and programs. And but at night they get to have fun. You know, they go bowling, we take them to the movies, and they do stuff like that. So. And, It's a pretty good program. It was fun. It was my first year this year. I've only been with this organization for a year. So 2 federally recognized tribes in Florida, Seminole Tribe of Florida and the Miccosukee Tribe of Indians of Florida. And at my organization, there are only 4 of us that are Native. We have myself, I'm Seminole, our director, he's Miccosukee, and we just hired another for work experience, and she's Seneca. And we have another work experience, and he is Eastern Cherokee from Georgia. This was the best sort of map I could get to kind of give you an idea of where the reservations are located in Florida. There are 6 in the Seminole Tribe of Florida, and they're more mainly, obviously, South Florida. I grew up in Brighton, which is on the north end, more of Lake Okeechobee. And I more so tell people I'm from Okeechobee, not that people even know where that is, but they're definitely not going to know where Brighton is or what Brighton is. But I grew up on that reservation, and I went to school and played sports, and basically Okeechobee was my community outside of my smaller reservation community. We all did everything in Okeechobee. The Seminole Tribe of Florida was formed in 1957 under the Council Oak, which is a huge oak tree, and it still stands today. It's a historic landmark to us, so it's going to be there as long as it can. It's located in Hollywood, Florida, actually right across from the Hard Rock. But that's where we signed our Constitution and signed on to be a federally recognized tribe. And so from then on, that's where a lot of our big ceremonies are. It's where our newly elected government officials always get sworn in, and we actually have our own court system, family court system, and they were sworn in February of this year, and it was there at the Council Oak, so we still keep that tradition going. The native language spoke within the Seminole tribe is between Miccosukee speakers and Creek speakers, and Miccosukee is actually outnumbering Creek, and Creek is really dying out fast, and they're actually struggling and working on newer programs with kids and preschoolers now. They started a language immersion program where babies are in a preschool setting and all that is spoken around them is Creek. So that's kind of how fast it's dying out and how scared they are and wanting to save it. It's a 2-tier government system. There's the tribal council, which is made up of the chairman, a vice president, and 3 elected officials that represent reservations. If I can click on it without skipping ahead. Sorry, I'm not technologically advanced. Someone wants to come help me. This is our tribal council. Like I said, the chairman, Chief James Billy, vice chairman Mitchell Cypress, Cicero Osceola, Andrew J. Bowers Jr., and Chris Osceola. They make up the council. And then we also have the board. And that gets sort of flip-flopped. The vice chairman is actually the head of the board, and then the chairman is under him in that, but then those are the other board members. And that's what makes up the Seminole Tribe of Florida's government. And all members are elected from each community that they represent. And I don't live on the reservation. I live in Tallahassee. I've lived here for 10 years now, but for people like me, non-residents, we get an absentee ballot, or if I was home the time that they vote, but I'm only allowed to vote for the chairman and the vice chairman. I can't vote for Brighton. Like, I'm from Brighton, but I can't vote for that community because according to them, I don't live there, so they're not representing me. But I at least still get to pick our chairman. Seminole Culture. Seminoles, we are a very matriarchal society. Women are looked to at everything. We have a clan system, and the clan is your family. And again, back to the matriarchal thing, it comes from your mother. So I'm a member of the Bird clan. All my siblings are Bird because our mother was Bird. My grandmother, her mother was Bird, and so on and so forth. Whoever else is Bird is considered my family. I've met some people that are Bird clan, and they're like, we're cousins. We are, but I didn't met you today. So, but that's the family link within the Seminole tribe. And you cannot marry within your own clan because, like I said, that's considered your family. So somehow, I'm sure, obviously, we're a very small group of people when we were just surviving. So people are interrelated, but to them, when they were getting married, you know, in an English way, that they were cousins, it wasn't in our way. Because it just mattered, you know, they weren't the same clan, so they could get married. There are 8 clans within the tribe, and you'll see a photo on the next slide. But yeah, like I said, very matriarchal. The grandmothers are actually the head of the clan and the camp, and when things are going wrong or when we have a problem, I call my mom, and then she calls my aunts, because her mom's no longer with us, but you know, it's always, oh, the aunts, and they're terrifying, and it's the women. So other parts of our culture, or even the Miccosukee, I think the South Florida tribes we're very well known for, and they always can spot us out when we're at powwows, or, you know, I was just in a conference in San Diego. But, you know, our patchwork is what people know us for. And so if you're wearing any of it, they'll spot you. Different designs do mean different things. This one's actually my favorite. It's called Man on a Horse. And this is sewn and made by hand. And they can get as intricate or very pretty, like this. My grandmother made this for me. And just to give you an idea, you know, these are strips of fabric sewn together by hand in the glow. So, it's a lot of work. So our patchwork, I think, is always how you can spot Seminole or Miccosukee culture. There's beadwork, which you'll see a photo of how they wore it in the past, but it can be as simple as stranding beads. There's stuff made on the loom that can get intricate with designs, headbands, pens, the kids bead pens. My mom beaded me a lamp, actually. It's really cool. We made baskets made from sweetgrass and thread, and dolls. So, and you'll see photos of these all in the next slide. Our cultural ceremonies, the meaning for them, you know, back in the day we didn't have calendars, we went by the crops and we go by the moons, actually. But for us, we celebrated what was, it's like a new year, and it would be in early summer because we were celebrating the new harvest, and so you'd come together for 4 days and celebrate and get new firewood. You'd cook a lot for the men. There would be dancing, certain songs are sang, certain things are done, certain medicine, and all of it was to bless you and just to come together and, like I said, celebrate and be thankful for a new year. And we actually do still do that today. I haven't missed one yet. I actually was almost born out there, bless my mother. She went into labor out there, and when I say out there, it's like it is in the old days. We have a piece of land set aside by Yeehaw Junction, and we go and live in the woods in chickees with no running water or electricity. I have to cook over a fire and, well water and dance by fire, and you live like you did then. So I haven't missed one yet. I'm 28 years old. That's how important it is to my family still to this day. We go out there every year and celebrate these things. And tribal medicine, I just did a presentation with a class, and they were very interested on that. They were going to try and be psychologists and counselors and doctors, and had heard about medicine and wanted to know if that would interfere with some of their work. And probably, I hope not, but probably, but tribal medicine is just, a medicine man or woman goes and sings and blesses whatever it is they're giving to you. And it can be, a lot of it that I've seen or grown up with is liquid form, but it can be things, I've seen them bless cigarettes so someone's allowed to smoke or if they want to, or I've had leaves before, or it can be a different type of object. But, the idea behind that was, like the blessing of the Creator and just to help you and protect you. And you more so see it nowadays. It just depends on how traditional the family is. We're very traditional, so I still really use it. If there's a problem, I call my mom first, and then, we go call the aunts and we figure out what we're gonna do. And I was actually telling my boyfriend and a friend the other day, I was like, actually, I've been pretty bad. I didn't even bless my new house I have. And even when I was going to school back and forth, my aunts gave me something to keep in my car to protect me because I was driving so much going back home. But so we still use it, and like I said, it's just to protect you. And faith, somebody can tell me that's crazy that I want to go drink water that just has leaves and twigs in it. But it's more than that. It was blessed by a medicine woman, and I've grown up with that from day one. Something was going wrong, or a family member died, and the family lines up and we all do this medicine. So it's just what I know. And here you can see a photo of the 8 clans. So there's bear, snake, panther, toad. They're kind of known as Big Town now. I don't know why. Bird, deer, wind, and otter. And when we go out to these cultural ceremonies, we are actually separated into your clans and into your camps. So, and then there's more of the patchwork, and there's the sweetgrass basket, and then down you can see the beads, and that's how they were worn in the older days. They stacked them on. I'm not really sure why. I've never heard a reason, because I asked my grandma, and of course she was like, I don't have time to tell you why. I'm like, all right. Well, because my argument is, it's hot in South Florida, so why are y'all stacking them? Like, I'm hot now, because she always makes me wear them. During cultural stuff or clothing contests, I have to wear them. I'm like, I'm hot. But yeah, I don't know why they wore them that way. And I wish I had a photo, but I did wear my earrings. They have some, they're older and they're really cool, that have the dimes or quarters, because to them, the money had no value, and so they made it as jewelry. So that's some of my favorite pieces of jewelry that my grandmother's given me with the coins. And then in the middle here, when I was talking about our cultural ceremonies, whenever they dance, I forgot to get a photo of that, but it is around a fire, and it goes man, woman, and elders to younger, to the children. And only the men sing in traditional, our language songs, and the women help with the songs in that we have shakers. And they used to be, I don't remember the type of seed it is, but it's a really hard seed that they would go and pick native to South Florida. And then they would use turtle shells, and the shaking of that would make the noise for it. And nowadays, they're just aluminum cans with BBs in it. And I would have brought mine, but I don't have mine because they're actually broken, and I left them with my mom after this last ceremony because we need to fix them. And then this last photo is just what our dolls look like. The Miccosukee Tribe of Indians, they are located more in South Florida, the Naples, Miami area, really close to the Everglades. And I didn't know this about them, the Cuba fact. I just found that out earlier this year from my boss. I thought that was really neat to share if you guys wanted to read that. And they're a little more aggressive towards the government than we are. I went to their college fair to try and promote our youth program to their kids, and there was, Miami, FSU, FAU, just your average college booth fair. And I asked my colleague, I said, why isn't there military here? High school kids, college, to the military as well as an option. And she said, they don't fight. for the U.S. military, that they think of themselves as still kind of separate and as their own warriors and not for the U.S. government. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that. And so, I mean, so sometimes things are okay, but sometimes, the elders and tribes still don't forget. And, I grew up very lucky in my tribe, but there's still some stuff I don't trust from the government or relations with the state. And I know for sure my grandmother and her sisters and her brother definitely didn't. And, not even my tribe, but just being out on certain conferences and, listening to South Dakota or Nevada and some of their problems. It really is sad, though, that, people on their reservations don't want to even trust a cop, let alone a politician. They don't trust anything for government. It's just sad. Main misconceptions: what is one tribe is not all. This is the Chickie, that is what the South Florida tribes lived in, not teepees. Every tribe in America did not live in a teepee. So they were made from cypress poles, 4 cypress poles, and then dried out palm fronds were placed on top. We still have them today. Whenever I'm not going home for Thanksgiving, but if I were, we have 2. We have a cooking Chickie and we have a big eating Chickie, and my family still gets under them today. They want us to cook on it for the holidays. That's where I'll be for Christmas. And that piece of land actually, it was called our camp because that's where my mother's family lived. And actually, our oldest aunt that is still with us, she was actually born there. So that where we are at isn't that far from the olden days and from how far my tribe's come in a little bit of time, to know that my aunt was born on that land and lived in a Chickie, and that a lot of the elders were losing them sadly pretty quickly now, but they all lived and grew up on Chickies and had to walk and get to the school bus and go to school in Okeechobee. And then, now I grew up with, the tribe had our own school bus to take us to Okeechobee. It's just crazy. Clothing differs for all tribes. Like I told you, ours are mainly known for our patchwork. I like that. I like that we can stand out, because some of the northwestern tribes, they all can maybe wear their leather and you don't know which one they are, but you shouldn't assume, that they're one. Don't touch it. Don't run up and touch them. Ask. You can ask for a photo. You can ask to touch, and they may let you, but don't. I remember growing up, my dad was white too, but he said he can tell you how many almost fights he would get in with people because they would just grab me and my brothers because we were wearing our jackets or skirts, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "They're so cute, like little dolls." And he said, "No, they're my children, and you're touching them." And we were like grabbing onto him. So don't touch people. Just other misconceptions continue. The whole headdress thing. Our tribe didn't wear them. We had turbans with feathers in them, but other tribes did, and it's a really good symbol. It means you are a chief, or you're a warrior, or you earned that. So to see people running around, in it, it is rude. It is, you're being rude to someone's culture and to what that means to somebody to be wearing something like that. And the peace pipe, to make jokes about that, that again is rude too. That's a part of someone's ceremonies and blessings. And so, like I said, I like conversations like this because just someone being aware can make them so much more, you're just a little careful about it. Natives today, if you visit semtribe.com, it's really, we have, history, culture, government. If you visit it, you can find anything you want to know about the tribe. And we actually have our own newspaper, that's the Seminole Tribune, where they just document everyday life. But I like to show this just to, show you that we're not just still natives living in Chickies. I mean, we still practice our culture and still live up our traditions, but we still are people just like you, So this is our paper. We're really big into cattle still. Trump made our paper. Another really good website is the NCIA, which is the National Congress of American Indian. And that's actually, I was just out in San Diego at their national conference. It was really, really enlightening. You heard from Indian Health Services to our, our representative, the Native American representative for the UN, all giving updates. Huge cases going on right now with the Supreme Court, updates such as that. They had representatives from different states, like in Minnesota, Congresswoman speaking on behalf of how she's trying to fight for and advance Native rights. So more of the political side of, what Native Americans are trying to do for themselves. So it's a really good website if you want to visit it. Here's some more if you want to write them down. Our website, fgcia.com. If you got a couple of our brochures, it's on there. My business card was out. Our website is also on there. If you want any more information or brochures or paperwork, visit our website or email me. And that's even part of my job, and that's part of what this organization is for, to promote and help keep the public aware of Native Americans. And so definitely don't hesitate. Like I said, that's what we're there for, and we'll answer your questions the best we can. Any questions for a little bit I can answer before I share a story with you guys? Yes?
One question about books and children's books and adult books or grown-up books. Are there any books that you can think of right now that would accurately portray your culture, which could be used in our classrooms?
I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I do know our office has it's kind of small, but it's a really good resource library. We have all kinds of books, and they're separated to law, and then there's just some that are to the South Florida tribes. And there are really good ones I've seen in there. And I do know that there's a new Creek dictionary coming out that you can read. So again, that would be something where you visit our website or email us, and if you wanted to come and look, and that's what's there for teachers, to be a resource. So yeah, a lot of good information is in our library. Yes.
Are you attending that event this weekend down, I think it's in South Florida?
Is it in Big Cypress?
Yes.
The arts? No, I'm not.
Is that something that you would recommend?
Yes, I would recommend any of our events that we ourselves, put on, or even something like this. I was telling, when I was invited here, she was telling me we're celebrating Native American Heritage Month, and I told, because I've lived here for 10 years, and I told her, yes, I'd love to come. I've never heard of anything like this happening, and she says, well, yeah, because we're in our third year. I was like, but it's happening now, so that's good. But that at least I was, at least I wasn't wrong in thinking no one does anything here to celebrate anything. But we have a tribal fair each year on the Brighton Reservation, first weekend in February. And then my reservation hosts a field day, rodeo, festival, and that's the second weekend of February. And those are really informative, and you can eat the cultural food. The booths are all in chickies and native vendors. It's native, so it's not made in China. That one is a celebration of native arts and festival. I would be going, but have to go to a wedding. So, they really.
Is it your wedding?
Yes.
I'm with the Appalachian Cold Creeks, and I've lived here all my life. And I actually lived on a reservation until 1978. But our language is kind of dying off, as you had said. And there's only like 23 of us left, me being one of the oldest. I have a Creek dictionary that's been passed on to me from probably about 3 generations old. Is there anyone that you know of in Florida that teaches the diphthongs and stuff from the Creek language? I used to work with, when I was real little, a lady named Mitty Wood. She's from Dade City. And I can no longer get in touch with her. I don't know if she's passed or not. But is there someone?
I would look on our website, and then maybe you can look up one of the schools. We have a school on my reservation, and they actually teach Creek to the kids. And the immersion program has the fluent Creek speakers, so I would just say start there, and then they would maybe give you the number or a way to get a hold of one of those women. Because I do know the New Creek Dictionary that is being brought out, my grandmother did work on also with another woman from that reservation. My grandmother is no longer here, but the woman who did the work with her is. So, I mean, there are people who can teach it. It's just, it's better for the younger ones. You know, it's harder, you know, for me to go and learn it and then to hear it. I can understand some of it. I mean, it was spoken all around me, and out at the cultural ceremonies, you know, when my aunts or my grandmother were telling me to get and do something, I can do that, I knew that. But to turn around and speak it back to them or say it to anyone, I don't. But you're not a member of the Porch Creek? Okay. I do know, I read that a member of the Porch Creek, because I don't think they have any speakers left. They actually sent someone to our immersion program to see how and what they were doing, teaching with the kids, and just kind of studying our program in hopes of maybe tagging off of that and taking it to their reservation to hopefully revive their language.
I apologize, I came in a couple minutes late, and you may have spoken about this. You're a matrilineal society. How do your names, where do you get your name? You're in Osceola, right?
Okay, we'll get to. I don't really give last names any type of, you know, I like my last name. It's good for this town. but you know, Osceola to the tribe is like a Smith in, you know, your world. And the reason I don't give them any merit is because there was a time that they were forced to pick a name because they all spoke their language and they all had their Indian names. Yet the white people there were telling them to pick something. And the woman I'm going to tell you a story about, her Indian name was Madaloyi, and that's what her people knew her by. But her English name was Polly Parker. Where'd she get that? How'd she pick that? They just probably picked something. Like there's other well-known chiefs. There's Sam Jones. You know, that doesn't mean anything. So our last names, there's about 6 or 7 big last names in there. Osceola, Billy, Tommy, Gopher, Smith, if you can believe it, Snow, Cypress. But so I don't. But our names, our Indian names, come from our grandmothers or our aunts.
So you have an Indian name that is separate from your English Anglicanized name?
Yep, my Indian name is Adaloyi, and that's all my family calls me and all my aunt calls me.
And that's separate from Osceola?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with my name. To them, that's my name. That was the name I was given.
So it is matrilineal?
Mm-hmm. And whenever, it's so matrilineal that whenever we lived in the camps by our clans, that whenever you married, the man left his family and he moved to your camp. And actually, it was so bad that whenever you had kids, the father wasn't really supposed to be the disciplinary. It was the uncles, the wife, the mom's brothers, or her uncles discipline your kids, not the father.
Hi, my name is William Gilmore, and I was wondering, might you be able to recommend any materials or reading materials that discuss the Florida Native American heritage and the African American heritage?
There's a book by London the Black Native American Essays. Bonnie Clinton is actually from Tallahassee.
But other than that, I would just recommend maybe coming to our office and looking, because we do have stuff that pertains to that as well.
In the offices?
Our office is located 625 North Adams Street. We are open 8:30 to 5.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? Okay, and I was surprised I didn't really touch on the FSU and the symbol, not mascot. It's not called mascot. But, sorry. Our tribe, my tribe, everyone is fine with it, you know, but again, I can't speak for what someone else gets offended. But if their name's being used and they don't like it, you know, I understand. But it was our name, and we don't mind it. And there have been several collaborations and things that have changed on the university side that I respect, that they've reached out to us, and they've made sure to be respectful. And I mean, our councilman signed off on it. They had their meetings. I know they asked the elders. You know, you can't do anything without doing that. And I went to Florida State. None of it bothered me. I mean, you're not going to stop some of the kids or girls running around in leather and feathers. Maybe one day it'll stop, but it's fine. You know, I have a thick enough skin. I know what I know. I do what I do. I know who my family is. It's fine. But the patchwork on the uniforms now, I thought was very cool, and it is actual Seminole patchwork, so that's a new recent collaboration I really like. The logo, I don't like, but that was just, I don't know them. I don't think that had anything to do with trying to offend the tribe as a whole. But no, people don't really seem to care. If anything, I think it's more weird that we have diehard tribal members that are diehard Miami fans. But they grew up, some of them grew up in Miami or Fort Lauderdale, and then we have some that are diehard Gator fans, and I just think that's more gross than we really don't. No one sits around and argues or gets mad about it. My grandmother was never mad about it. My aunts were never mad about it. I mean, if anything, the bigger topic was just they were wanting people to go to school. They were just happy I was going to school and I was going to get a college degree. So, but the tribe doesn't care. And I think the biggest thing that got us more riled up were other organizations trying to tell us how we felt about it. But no, it should have been, no, we don't like this. No, we don't mind, you don't like it. But it's our name, and we're the ones that can sign off on it. So, any questions? Yes.
How often are elections held?
Chairman every 4, and then council representatives every 2. And then we also have a Miss Seminole and a Junior Miss Seminole pageant held every year for girls 14 to 25. And to be Miss Seminole, you have to be 18 to 25, but it's like a pageant and they're elected. But she also is kind of a symbol of the tribe, and she goes out all across the country and visits different tribes and different gatherings and different festivals and speaks on behalf of the tribe. So I think she's an important figure. When the chairman can't make something, he'll ask her chaperone, can Miss Seminole go and represent us? So we have them too. The last Miss Seminole actually lived up here and went to TCC for a brief moment. I'm not sure if she's still here now, but yes.
What's the difference between chairman and chief?
None, but we call them our chairman. Other people call him a chief. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But he's the leader of the tribe. So. Yes.
Have you participated in the rodeo events yourself?
Rodeo? No. No, I didn't grow up in one of the rodeo families. My brothers didn't, but there are families that they run and do all cattle, and so they grew up more cowboy and they do the rodeo events and they work cattle. My brother has worked cattle with some of our family before. Seminole beef is actually growing. They sell it actually at Prime Time and Backwoods Bistro. But the Seminole Tribe is trying to become a bigger name in the cattle industry, as we should. We've had families do that for as long as they can remember. Someone asked in another class what normal occupations were within the tribe. And I said, anything. a cattleman. That's big. The orange groves, they could be a teacher. We have a school on a reservation. Each reservation has a preschool. Each reservation has a clinic. And so, they could be any type of job. Just regular administrative office stuff for our councilmen. So, all kinds of things. Just a own little community.
What do you think of Adrian Keene's clarifying that appropriation?
I'm sorry, what?
What do you think of Adrian Keene's cultural appropriation?
Cultural appropriation.
You know, Adrian Keene? You don't know about her blog posts and stuff?
No. What website or through a blog?
Yeah, we should talk.
Yeah. No, let me know. I'd like to hear about it. We'll talk after. Yes.
All right, we have the reservation open for traffic, for visits.
For the festivals that we have, like the tourist attraction festivals or the rodeos, yes, they'll be open to public. If you have, information you're seeking as far as if you, want to see our health services or clinic or preschool or school, you're going to have to contact the councilman's office before you do go out there. I suggest that first. But the Seminole Tribe is very open, and you should be greeted with open arms. Like I said, go to our website, and the numbers to each councilman's office is there, all the clinics, all the preschools, all that information is on there. Okay, I'm going to share a story now of why I'm standing here today, how I'm here. We had a Christmas like 8 years back, and my great aunt gathered us all around, and she said that she didn't think we knew where we came from. And I was like, but we do. I grew up, I know I'm Seminole, you're all Seminole, every grandmother I know is Seminole. But they were saying, it didn't mean enough, and yes, we knew of the Trail of Tears, but they didn't think we really knew how close we were to that. And they're right, I didn't. I mean, I knew, because we do have family, so to speak. There's Seminole Nation in Oklahoma, because they got taken from here. Or, we even have adopted, and we have creeks, and Seminole and Miccosukee really is just a mixture from northern fleeing to southern Florida. But so she tells us, a long time ago, there was a woman by the name of Monteloyi, and she was out with a few other Native American women, and they were picking herbs for medicine, actually, near Lake Istapoga, and they got captured. And then she was taken to St. Mark's, and she was supposed to be put on a ship, and then she was supposed to start the Trail of Tears. And she somehow managed to trick one of the soldiers that she needed to get off because one of the women was sick and she was just going to get medicine, and that they could watch her. And they let her off, and they tried to watch her, but she escaped. And she traveled at nighttime, not during the day, so that she could hide. And then she made it all the way back to her hometown reservation, which is actually near where mine was, in between Okeechobee and Brighton, in that area. And she was my great-great-great-great-grandmother. And it was just crazy to hear that, for it to just be that real to us. Is that real that we almost weren't even here, that my family wasn't. And it was actually, I told that story for my talent for Miss Seminole, and I wish I had it. I didn't have enough time to ask my family, but I actually presented it, and we have the photos down from her to her daughter, to my mother, to me, and we have all of it. So we at least have photos, and I'm thankful for that, for finding them. But it's a really, really cool story. It's starting to be celebrated more because not just my family, but she's responsible for other families and for a big part of our tribe. So just an act as simple as that, as running and surviving and getting back home, we wouldn't be here today. And there's plenty of those stories for the tribe and Miccosukee tribe. Anything else? Yes.
If you were to get married in the future, is that a ceremony that you would do with your family, or would you do it in traditional church?
I didn't grow up going to church, so no, I wouldn't do that. But I'm not going to marry within the tribe, so I wouldn't do some of our stuff, what we would do.
But there is a ceremony that
But there is, I probably would get, obviously I'd have my aunts and my uncles there, and probably get obviously a blessing on it from them and in our language from, you know, their words. So, yeah. Okay. Thank you, and I'll be here a little bit. Like I said, if you got my email, I'll answer anything. I'm sure I left stuff out. So, but I hope this was helpful. I hope some of these websites will be even a little more helpful. And like I said, just opening the door for discussion and just understanding Native Americans are a really small population, and I think that's what's opening us to even a lot of our problems. More so other tribes with, you know, their suicide and poverty and alcoholism and everything that they're fighting. And so even though we're lucky enough in Florida and over here, my director wants us to start reaching out and aiding other states and other Indian Affairs offices with what we can do for them. So, thanks.
Thank you. I just want to let you know that we have some Native American treats and Native American recipes that we use, and several of them I made down, putting your talents in baking, and I made some items and some tea and water over there. Also, don't forget about the sign-in sheet if we need credit for your class. We have surveys for you. Please be sure to fill those out and just leave them on the table here before you leave. Another thing I wanted to mention is upstairs on the second floor, we have a book display on Native Americans, books by Native Americans. There are a few of them, a couple of them by Betty Mae Jumper, and one that was written along with a buffalo tiger who used to be the one that